Hello and welcome to lesson number 44 of the series Learn to Play the Violin with Me. Let's do this. All right, let's turn to page number 25 of the Essential Elements Violin Book 1 and look at number 92, the can-can. We had briefly looked at it last time, not really, but we looked at the first three measures just so maybe you could recognize it if you didn't recognize it by the title, because it is a very famous piece. So let's get into it. This one is tempo marking allegro, so it's going to eventually be played fast, relatively speaking, in comparison to other things we played, but we certainly aren't going to start by playing quickly. We're going to practice nice and slow. Let's look at line A, and let's try playing those first three measures really nice and slow like we did last time. If you look at the time signature, there's a 2 at the top and a 4 at the bottom. 4 at the bottom means a quarter note gets 1 beat. The 2 at the top means there are only 2 beats in a measure. So we're going to be counting 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So the rhythm for the first three measures would be 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1, 2, just like that. So let's try that. We're on the D string, and we are in measure 3, turning to the open A there. Instead of playing it on the D string, it would tell us if we were supposed to be playing with finger 4 there. So because there's nothing, we assume it's open A. Let's try the first three measures starting on D. 1 and 2, play. All right, let's try that again. I didn't change my angle quick enough, so I got a little bit of an open D before playing the open A there in measure 3. So let's look at, let's actually isolate just measure 2. Let's try that a couple times. So E, G, F sharp, E. There's a lot of finger movement there. Let's try just measure 2. Ready, play, end. Try that again. Play, end. Ready, play, end. All right, let's add that back in. Play the first three measures. Ready, play, end. Try that one more time. My bow angle wasn't quite right, so I played a little bit of the E string there. Try one more time, those three measures. Ready, play, end. All right, let's continue on. Look at the next two measures. So we are playing measure 4 and 5. We are playing on two different strings. A and B are played on the A string. F sharp, G, and E are played on the D string. So let's try it nice and slow. Measure number 4, starting on open A. Ready, play, end. Ooh, measure 4 is tricky. So we're playing open 1, then 2, 3 on the D string. So that's a lot of finger movement. We're moving strings there. Let's just try to finger that. Measure 4, ready, and open 1, switch 2, 3. Let's try that again. Ready, and A, B, F sharp, G. Now let's try to do the fingerings for measures 4 and 5. So we're adding in those E's there. Open A, ready, and A, B, F sharp, G, E, E, which is played with finger 1. Let's try adding the bow in there for those two measures, nice and slow, starting on open A. Ready, play, and. I was not applying enough pressure on my bow, so my bow started sliding toward me, which is why it started sounding thin and weird. Try it again. Ready, play, and. Try it again. Ready, play, and. Again. Ready, play, and. All right, let's try adding it into the first 3 measures. So we'll play the first 5 measures of can-can. I always thought it was the can-can. Apparently not. No. Here we go. Let's try. First 5 measures of part A. 1, and 2, and. Switch. All right, moving on, measure number 6. Let's just do measure 6 because of what's coming up in measure 7 and 8. Just measure 6. E, G, F sharp, E. That's it. Ready, play, and. Ready, again, play. Good. Now add in the first notes of measure 7, the open D. So E, G, F sharp, E, D. And we're doing that because that kind of that finishes the phrase there. And we're kind of finishing that sequence because then we start at high D and go all the way down the scale. But first let's finish this phrase. So E, G, F sharp, E, D. Let's try those 5 notes. Ready, play, and. Nope, sorry. Ready, play, and. Again. Ready, play, and. All right, let's try at the beginning all the way through that low D, through the low D, but we're not jumping up to the high D yet. That's next. Line A. Ready, play, and. Good. Don't hang on to that D because it's only an 8th note, because after that we are playing an entire D major scale descending from high D all the way down to low D, which is the first note of line 2 of part A. Let's try it. So starting on that high D, okay, the tricky part is going to be from going from low D to high D within the span of an 8th note. But let's try. We've practiced this many times before, playing a descending major D scale. So starting on D, D, there we go, making sure that our finger placement is correct. Let's do it. Let's try the descending scale starting on high D in measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, measure 7. Second note of measure 7. Going all the way down through the first note of the bottom line A, the low D. Here we go. D. Ready, play, and. No, sorry. It starts on 1 and. So I'm going to say play and 1. Do, do, do. Okay. Ready, play, and 1. Okay, decent. Let's try it again. Ready, play, and 1. Oh, I'm sorry. We're actually starting on an up bow. My fault. Here we go. I missed that. Sorry. Here we go. We're learning together. Ready, play, and 1. Try it again. On an up bow, starting by the tip. Ready, play, and 1. Feels so good when it works. Now we're going to add in the low D. So that is open D going to high D in the span of an eighth note. Here we go. Let's try it. Let's just see what happens, even if it's a disaster. Got to start somewhere. D. So get your third finger there ready to go, hovering above the string where you know high D is. We are starting on a down bow for low D. Ready, play, and. All right, let's try it again. Ready, get that finger ready to go. Ready, play, and. Whoops, my D was not ready to go. My high D finger placement. Ready, play, and. All right, admittedly, I looked at my left hand the entire time and did not look at the music, and I need to change that. So let's try it again. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best to not look at my left hand. Ready, play, and. Whoops. My finger was in the wrong spot. Sorry. Here we go. Ready, play, and. All right, let's try that again. Ready? Ready, play, and. Try it again. Ready, play, and. Getting better, improving. Let's try from the beginning all the way through where we just stopped after the first beat on measure 9. Here we go. Nice and slow. Ready, play, and. All right, let's try that again. Think of something you want to work on. There's plenty. Ready, play, and. All right, at any point, if you want to pause it and review something more than we are doing together, go for it. Let's look at measure 9, and let's kind of just scan it with our eyes first. It looks like the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 plus, no, 6 plus 1 note are the exact same as line 1. So that's awesome. We don't have an entire new line to learn. We really only have those last 2 measures to learn. So let's actually skip there. Let's skip to the last 2 measures of the bottom line of part A. D, A, E, F sharp, D, D. All right, let's try that. Let's try the last 2 measures. Ready, play, and. All right, so we are playing open string to open string, then going back to the D string there. Ready? Let's try it again. Ready, play, and. Try one more time. Ready, play, and. All right, let's try all of the bottom line of part A. Ready, play, and. right. Good. Before we end for today, let's try playing all of part A. We're going to take it nice and slow. We can always add speed later, either together or on our own, if you really want to get to play this very fast. There are some recordings of this piece that are extremely fast. If you really want to work toward that part, we won't do that together, but you can always do that on your own. There is a repeat sign, which means we are playing through part A 2 times. Let's try it. 1 and 2 and ready, play, and. Repeat, and. We did it! All right, we are going to stop there for today. If you want to continue practicing this part, next lesson we will start by learning part B. But if you want to keep going on part A on your own and get that faster and more accurate, work on whatever you want to work on, that's awesome. You don't have to limit your practice time to what we do together. You can practice as much as you want to on your own, and you can go through any of the past exercises we've done in the book or something even you find online that you think you're ready for. I am so happy that you joined me today, and I can't wait to see you again soon.